Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We're happy to have you back here on the Now What Business series. Today, we've got a great speaker for you. We've got JoAnn May, who will be doing our presentation in just a moment. But before she gets started, what I wanted to do is really quickly thank you all for taking the time to be here for our little lunch and learn. It is our goal to try and provide the most accurate information for you that we possibly can. And because we are recording this and somebody may be watching this later, I do want to point out that all information that we're presenting today is accurate as of May the 6th, 2020. So things may change. So we're just wanting to make sure that everybody is understanding that as we all have figured out in the past few weeks, that life is changing very quickly. And you know, I think I heard another coach say the speed of change is at the slowest now than it will ever be for the rest of our lives. So it's just going to get faster and faster moving here on out. So really quickly, for all of our participants, thank you again for being here. As we have our presenter presenting today, you have a couple of options if you want to ask questions. We do have a chat feature or also the Q&A feature. The Q&A feature will allow any of our attendee experts to either raise their hand and say that they would like to answer the question, or they can answer the question directly in the Q&A for everybody by typing it out during the course of the presentation. JoAnn will be presenting for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we will have an open Q&A for JoAnn and all of our experts. So in case you don't know who all of our experts are, I'm going to do a brief bio for everybody, give a more in-depth biography for JoAnn as our presenter today, and then that way you guys can begin to think about what questions you might have for any of our experts. So first person I'm going to introduce is myself. I'm Jenny Bellinger of Level Up Coaching LLC. I am a sales coach, and I work with rockstar direct sales moms to help them achieve financial freedom so that they can be present in their children's lives. Our next expert is Carol Sparks. She is the owner and operator, chief law officer of Sparks Law Office out of Troy, Illinois, and she's had that in operation since 2009. Kurt Rickoff is also on the line with us. He has been a small business advisor for over 20 years as a CPA. Is that correct? CPA and enrolled agent?
Just an enrolled agent.
Just an enrolled agent.
Yeah, accredited business accountant.
There we go. Trained business accountant and an enrolled agent. I just want to make sure because I was like, oh, I'm not seeing CPA in your thing here. So that's why I checked. That's okay. Absolutely. You have 20 years. Kurt has 20 years of experience, and he is with Rickoff and Associates in O'Fallon, Illinois. We also have with us Megan Martin. Megan is the owner of Conquer Consulting, and she is a certified executive career coach and business consultant. She specializes in working with professionals who are looking to make a transition in their career or grow within their leadership position, as well as business owners who want to build, rebuild, or scale their businesses. Marcel Browne is also with us this afternoon. Marcel is known as the most trusted name in technology and has been in the technology space for 25 years, operating his own business, Marcel Browne Technology, for 18 years. And of course, now our presenter today is JoAnn May. She is a Glen Carbon resident and had earned her bachelor's degree in business administration from SIUE in 2005, followed by her MBA in 2007. She was a graduate assistant for the Small Business Development Center at SIUE from August of 2005 until September of 2007. And she has also served as an international business consultant for the Small Business Development Center's International Trade Center. JoAnn became the Small Business Development Center Director in August of 2017. She currently also sits on the City of Edwardsville Advisory Board, serves as a secretary for the Latino Roundtable, and is a member of the Monroe County Economic Development Corporation. Today, she is going to be presenting on the topic pivoting during COVID-19. So now I'm going to share my screen, and JoAnn, you can go ahead and request in just a second here. I didn't have everything quite pulled up the way I wanted it to. and you can request remote control once I have that pulled up. Oh, wait, look, I can give you remote control. Here we go. There you go. You're all set. And go ahead and unmute yourself. Oh, we can't hear you yet. Nope.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
So thank you, Jenny, and everyone for being here today. I'm JoAnn May, the director of the Illinois Small Development Center. We assist entrepreneurs and small business owners at no cost through the SBA and Department of Commerce as our lead partners. And we offer one-on-one advising, training throughout the 9-county region here of Southwest Illinois. So it doesn't look like I can change the screen. Sorry.
Oh, yep. It just started changing. It's just
Perfect.
taking a while.
There we go. Okay, so I wanted to start first before we get into the long-term pivoting and adjusting your business. I wanted to start with SBA and Illinois updates. And the screen just changed again on me. So as of Sunday, May 3rd, $175 billion has been put into Paycheck Protection Program loans over the second round that started about a week and a half ago now. Those average loan sizes have been about $79,000 per business. The disaster loans, known as EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loans, are currently only available for ag businesses and those that need to reapply if they originally had applied before March 30th and haven't gone into the new streamlined process. SBA did send out emails, and I know working with a lot of clients, our office made sure as much as we could that businesses were aware of that update because the system was overwhelmed and crashed, and they made some changes. So if they hadn't applied, there was another request just sent out yesterday, I believe, that SBA is wanting businesses to go and reapply. So it is available for those that need to reapply and lose their spot. Some of the state programs that are still available are the Downstate Stabilization Grant and the Illinois Small Business Emergency Fund. The Downstate Stabilization Grant actually covers 60 days of operating capital for a business. However, Madison and St. Clair counties do not qualify because of entitlement funds through HUD, Housing and Urban Development. So there are community development block grants that our two counties, Madison and St. Clair, receive that do not allow for additional funding through this downstate program. However, Monroe, Jersey, and others are eligible. Illinois Small Business Emergency Fund, it is currently on hold as they go through the applications that they've received. Again, a lot of interest, but that is a 5-year loan up to $50,000 per business. 50% of that does have to be used for payroll. Just like the protection program, I should mention, if you're not aware, 75% of that does need to be used for payroll, and then 25% can be used for utilities, rent, and those expenses. So the calculation, getting back to PPP, is 2.5 times your average monthly payroll for 2019, or I believe you can also use your January, February 2020 average payroll. So now let's get into the challenges that we've been facing over these last 2 months or so, and discuss how you can take some of these new normal ideas and implement them for your business for the long term. Okay, so communication is going to be key. Essentially, during a time of crisis and definitely COVID-19, we have to make sure that we're communicating with our employees, with our customers, with our vendors, and our stakeholders, so that they know where we stand in the business and if there's any challenges that they can assist with, or be a a resource for, they can do that. And we want to make it easy for our employees to do remote work and continue working for the business, and understand that they have other challenges as well during this time, like kids at home, etc. And then, with customers, they need to know if we are offering curbside or delivery, any specific hours, things like that. All right, so with employees, definitely during this time and beyond, we need to be thinking about those scheduling changes and offering flexible opportunities for our employees to work remotely. So having Zoom meetings and allowing them to take an extended lunch, or maybe working beyond 5 p.m. Weekends, what have you. So being a little more flexible with that, because we do understand there's family and other situations involved. Zoom meetings, as I mentioned, is a great way to stay in touch with your employees. Microsoft Teams as well. My staff has done a team meeting just to see how everybody was, make sure everyone is on the same page, give updates, those kind of things. And with Teams, you're able to actually upload and share documents so that you can have access virtually anywhere to those maybe passwords that you need, or just documents that you need to access, like operations manuals or anything else for your daily activity, maybe a contact information so that you can reach out to someone, things like that. And then, access to your actual computer station from the office. We requested remote access for our office. I think 3 of us are able to log in through a secure system to actually access our computer, so that we have the network from the university where we're housed. And that allows us to perform certain duties and have capabilities that maybe we can't just from the internet at home. All right, so now let's talk about customers. So again, I was just on a webinar that we hosted with Google, and Google My Business was one of the big features that they talked about. So keeping your website up to date and using Google My Business, so when a customer looks you up on Google, they can find your hours and information, and if you're temporarily closed, what have you, holiday hours, different things like that can be posted. You want to have that constant communication so that businesses know, or I'm sorry, customers know that you're still in business. Regularly posting on your social media. You need to keep updated on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, so that your customers can follow you there, share tips and advice, maybe new products or a sale, what have you, services that you're offering, things like that. Also, find new and innovative ways to connect. So think about blogging. You may have a little more spare time right now. Blogging definitely does take a lot of time, but maybe once a month or twice a month, you're able to put together an article or an opinion statement, things like that. Share your expertise. Create videos. Be able to kind of show the business in a different light. Maybe even share a customer video using your product or your service. Play some games. For example, maybe a record store could play karaoke or name that tune for some type of prize or something like that. Maybe you're a nonprofit pet adoption agency, and you play games to kind of show the animals that are available and things like that, and get more response, and maybe some donations and volunteers in some way, even though it might be virtual right now. Webinars, you still have to connect with your customers, your clients, and share information. So maybe instead of an in-person workshop, you do it virtually through Zoom or another platform, GoToMeeting or something like that, WebEx. There's lots of them out there. But most importantly, make it easy for your customer to shop or use your services. So you might set up that online shopping platform through Shopify. You may provide advice through a document or something that a customer can download and fill out, or maybe a video, things like that. So just connecting in different ways. Next, we want to talk about our vendors. So the companies that we buy our products from, if we're a product-based business. So maybe you can't make your payment right now, or you're going to be a little short. You need to make sure that you can communicate with them and let them know the expectations. Maybe you're going to be a week behind, or you can only pay 50%, or, you know, maybe there's a way for them to modify how they package their products. Maybe you need a smaller quantity or a specific type of quantity. And then that delivery schedule, maybe if you are doing curbside, you need them to come earlier or later in the day, or maybe just based on their other customers, they need you to be flexible too. So having that communication on the schedule of the products that you're anticipating. Stakeholders. So stakeholders are very important, often forgotten at times, but they are important for your business. So think about having meetings with them virtually. Maybe you have like an advisory board or just a group of experts that you connect with on a regular basis. You can have those virtual meetings. And then also share documents, like we said, through email or maybe something like Teams, Microsoft Teams. There might be some creative ways to partner with these stakeholders. Maybe they could be a sponsor for an event or something that you're doing. So there could be that relationship building there. Maybe they have a piece of equipment or some supplies that you're just not able to get. Something like that, you know, during these times of crisis. Okay, let's see. All right, so be flexible. Think about your competitors as well. They are partners too, and maybe again, they have equipment or resources that you can share. Also, collaborate with a nonprofit to benefit your company and them at the same time. So like I was saying earlier, maybe have a fundraiser or some type of event where you can bring recognition to your business, but also spotlight them as a valuable nonprofit and charity entity in your community. And then also think about repackaging or repurposing products and services that you have. So you may need to use different materials, or you know, maybe you're a distillery, for example, and now you're making hand sanitizer, so you can use your equipment. Maybe you're a textile manufacturer, and now you're making masks, face masks. And I apologize, it looks like my power cord's a little loose. Give me 1 second.
Well, JoAnn is taking care of that. I wanted to bring up to all of our participants, our attendees here, if you have a question for JoAnn as she's going through, if you can think about something that she might be able to help answer for you, whether it's about the SBA loans, the EIDLs, the PPPs, or any of these great ideas that she has to help you begin to pivot in this time, you can ask your question in the question and answer section or in the chat.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't want to lose everyone, and it said low battery, so I was like, that is not good. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the business plan, probably something that most companies have put in a drawer and kind of forgotten about, maybe haven't looked at in a while. Maybe there's a saved document that you have to go through and find on your desktop, or maybe a flash drive that's sitting somewhere with that document. But your business plan is definitely important during these times and into the future with our new normal. You really want to be looking at how you're doing now so that you can make those changes and work with your staff, your internal team, but also the external team, like all the great partners that we've compiled here today. So attorneys like Carol Sparks, accountants like Kurt, lenders, all the different financial institutions, those bankers have great insight to help you grow your business and be prepared when you need to make purchases and expand, things like that. Insurance agents, especially during these times, you want to think about, do I have all the insurance that I need in place? Business interruption is a particular example, very important right now. So maybe you didn't have business interruption insurance. Maybe you're going more virtual and having online e-commerce. So you want to make sure you have cybersecurity insurance coverage, things like that. And then working with advisors like all of us, myself, and specialists like Jenny and Marcel with the IT and sales. So you're probably feeling a little overwhelmed right now, and you're not alone. So take a breath, just think about your strategy, how you can implement that for the long term, and really look at your business plan probably every month or every 3 months at least right now. I would probably have a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day plan in place and keep that moving forward. Evaluate your results. So maybe give yourself some time, maybe 3 months or so, and then evaluate how you're doing every quarter or so, and continue to make strides towards those goals, modify as you need to make changes, things like that. So it's not a fixed document. Your business plan is flexible, and it's a breathing live document that you want to keep up to date and change with the times. So just as life takes us in different directions, our business does too. So we want to make sure that we can modify and pivot along the way. All right, well, that concludes my presentation. So I am open for questions.
Still muted. Great job, JoAnn. Thank you so much for all that great information. It looks like Kurt might have a question for you. And Kurt, you don't have to type it because now we're at the Q&A and you're a panelist. So please go right ahead.
All right. Do you know, will there be additional guidance be coming out on the forgiveness piece of the PP loans?
Yes, we're still waiting on SBA, but there should be additional guidance on the documentation. It is very vague right now. It's like, as long as you have, bank statements and, pay stubs, W-2s, all the basics that you can, those would suffice. But yeah, we are waiting for official work from the SBA. I would think that would be coming soon because most people that got money in the first round will be hitting that 7-8 weeks, here in the next month or so.
Gotcha. Great. Thank you.
Anytime.
And Joe asked if the slides will be available. So JoAnn, if it's okay with you, I can go ahead and put the PowerPoint slide deck on my website along with the video. Awesome.
No
So Joe,
Perfect.
yes, we will go ahead and put the slides on levelupcoachllc.com. And then you can just click on the Now What Business series at the top of the page, and it'll take you to all our videos and any of our presenters who are willing to share their slides. I'm happy to put those PowerPoints on the website. Well, I say me, it's really going to be Marcel. So we'll get those up so you guys have access to that. Devin asks a question, currently using Google Drive to manage documents of my startup. What, if any, are the advantages to using Microsoft Teams? Do you have any advice for document management?
Well, I think you just have to explore all the features. I've used Google Drive. I've been using Team. I think the nice thing about Teams is that they have other features like, the calling and being able to chat with your staff, things like that. So as far as just document sharing, you're probably fine with Google Drive, but definitely there are some additional features with Teams that you can utilize with your staff to stay connected more. Did Marcel want to add?
Yeah, sorry, I lost my, I have two screens going on and I lost my mouse, so I couldn't unmute. So Google Drive is a file management system. Microsoft Teams is a whole different animal. So really what the comparison is with what's called Google Meet, I think is the term. Yeah, I'm just looking at it over here. Google, it used to be Google Hangouts. Now it's called Google Meet.
Right.
So that's what you should be comparing, is Teams versus Google Meet. So which sounds really awkward to say now as I keep saying it. So maybe I'll just call it Google Meeting. Anyway, in research I've done in the past, it really depends where your focus is as far as what you already use. So if you're already a Microsoft 365 customer, then Google or Microsoft Teams probably is a little easier to implement. If you're already using Google, then see what you can do with Google Meeting, and then go from there. But really, it's all about your particular workflow and habits and that sort of thing. And obviously, those are the types of things, if you need specific advice, that I can help consult with you on that in the future.
Thanks, Marcel.
Great. Okay. I think Carol has a question.
Perfect. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, JoAnn, for your presentation today. I just wanted to ask you to revisit a topic that you and I talked about yesterday in light of all of the businesses that are reopening and rehiring. How will those PPP funds be utilized when they're rehiring if they don't hire the same person for the position but are rehiring positions?
Right. So as far as the interim final rule and the understanding that I've come to and read, if you are not able to bring back the same individual, you can hire a different person. And let's say you have part-time individuals, you can consider bringing back full-time equivalents. So let's say you have two part-time individuals that you can't bring back. You don't really have enough work anyway. So you might just bring back one full-time instead of two part-timers. Essentially with PPP, the way we're understanding it, as long as you're able to spend those funds, that 75% of your loan on payroll, as long as that adds up to the same amount, you can do that. It's not just based on the number. It can be a full-time equivalent as well.
As a follow-up to that, JoAnn, if a business owner was not on the payroll, could they bring themselves onto the payroll if they were unable to rehire all of their prior team?
My understanding is that they would have to have documentation prior to March of this year that they were paying themselves. So no, they cannot bring themselves on currently and use the PPP loan for that purpose to pay themselves. However, they can certainly work with Kurt and other accountants to make sure that they are set up properly in the future. I've had that situation a few times with clients that are sole proprietors and they haven't been paying or reporting their taxes properly, so they unfortunately do not qualify for PPP.
I have another question, sorry. In light of that recommendation, JoAnn, what would you tell business owners as they pivot their business structure in order to run their structure in the best way that will allow them future potential benefits of this nature?
You mean as far as a business entity structure? I would definitely have them work with an attorney and an accountant like yourselves there, but probably a LLC and S Corp might be advisable for them. even as a single member, the pass-through taxation, the legal protection, all of those things. But certainly I would have them work with you and Kurt.
Great. Anne has a question. She said, if you had employees that were due for a review and a raise prior to the shutdown, would we be able to give them their raise while using the PPP?
I believe that can be considered as long as you have the documentation and justification that that was going to occur anyway, and you included that in your calculation for the loan amount, then yes, I believe you can use that, and then just have the documentation to prove everything so that after the 8 weeks it's forgiven.
Great question. Thanks for answering, JoAnn. Any other questions from our attendees? They're probably typing them in, or you guys also have the option to raise your hand and I can give you the ability to ask a question. If you've got a microphone, you don't have to come on screen on video. I'm able to just turn on your sound, give you access to ask your question if you would like. Through the Q&A section, if you have a question, just letting all of our attendees know, you also have the option to ask a question anonymously. So if you put in anonymous, I'm just going to say someone on the call has a question. So we can keep your information private if that's what you so choose, if you have a question. But of course, you are able to reach out to any of our expert panelists. You can find all of their contact information at levelupcoachllc.com. It's got phone numbers, emails, and social media links for many of our experts. So if you find that you have a question later, you can go to my website, which is levelupcoachllc.com to be able to get that information. So sorry, I was kind of stretching out time there to give people time to type any questions that they may have. But it looks like at this point in time, you might have done such a great job, JoAnn, answering questions that I think everybody probably feels pretty clear on this. So we want to thank everyone for being here. We have been recording this and all of our previous Now What Business series. You can find the videos for that on YouTube, or you can also find them on the website directly at levelupcoachllc.com. We have the videos presented up there for you guys to watch if you want to go back and get some information as well. Next week, our presenter is Carol Sparks. So Carol, do you have the title for your presentation that you can share, maybe a quick overview?
I'm just going to talk about protection and business protection, protecting your workplace, protecting your workforce, and protecting your work product in light of COVID-19.
Love it. That's awesome. And, for those of you who don't know or don't remember, Carol is a business attorney. So when she talks about protection, it's going to be about the legal protection of your business. So I have a feeling that's going to be something that many people will want to attend. Week 5 will be Kurt presenting. And then, so that's in 2 weeks, Kurt will be presenting. Kurt, do you have the title of your presentation?
I do not. I was kind of holding off a little bit just with the rapidly evolving, developing topics over the last 6 weeks. I've learned not to plan too far ahead for some things.
Yeah,
I've redone more presentations in the last couple weeks, changing slides. Last week I had a webinar and had to change the slide that morning when the IRS decided that the PPP loans were not deductible. So.
Oh, there you go. So
half hour. So I've learned.
Yeah. So Kurt's will be something business, finance related in the times of COVID.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very good. That's awesome. And then on May 27th, I will be presenting on sales, because hopefully by then, fingers crossed, people will be ready to get into sales conversations again, because I know a lot of people have been kind of confused about how to go about sales during these times. They want to be respectful of what's going on. But let me tell you, sales is not a 4-letter word. So it is something that we all rely on very much. So thank you to all of our panelists who have already presented. Megan was on our first week. Marcel presented last week. And thank you, JoAnn, for presenting today. And again, if you guys have any further questions or you want to reach out to any of our panelists, you can get their contact information by going to levelupcoachllc.com to get any of their contact information. So thank you guys so much. And we will see everybody back here next week. We do have room for more registrations. So if you do know people who might, other business owners or professionals who might find it interesting to learn more from Carol Sparks next week, please invite them to register through our Zoom link, which is sent to you before our presentation every single week. So thanks everybody and have a great week.
Thank you.